Hello guys, in this tutorial we'll be showing you how to play ESPN Fantasy Football on your computer. In order to do this, you just need to open your web browser and go to espn.com. Now once you're on ESPN, you want to go over to the top right area and you can see Fantasy. Click on it. Now once we're here on the ESPN Fantasy, as you can see right here, you'll see the teams you're currently on. For our account, we have about 4 different leagues we're currently on. Once you're here, you can scroll down and locate this section. It says ready to join another league, the #1 fantasy football game. So here you can create a league, join a public league, or reactivate a league. So one of the first steps to playing ESPN Fantasy Football is deciding if you want to create a league or if you want to join a public league. Now, if we click on creating a league, this would mean that we'll be creating a new league. And when it takes you to this page, you'll see you'll have the option to create a league yourself or join a public league. Now, we're going to click on create a league just to show you the ropes of how it works. So click on create a new league. Then you're going to put in your league name. We're going to just say Star League, and then you could set the number of teams. Do note that the number of teams can make things more interesting, but it also would need that you have more participants who will be joining your league. Then under scoring, you could choose point per reception or no point per reception. This is pretty much up to you. Then you're going to click on create league, and then it's going to give the pop-up where you can invite via email or copy the invite link. Again, if you don't have others to join in your league will not start, and you'll need an equivalent number of teams as you've selected to join in your league. In our case, we chose 4. I'm the first team and we'll need 3 more. So we can say copy invite link and close this pop-up. Now right here, this is your newly created league dashboard. You can see Star League, and you can also see your access to settings, members, rosters, and you can see some details right here. However, it says your league is not full and your draft has not been scheduled. This is because we don't have enough teams just yet, and this is a challenge you might be facing as a newbie. But this is really how you can create your ESPN Fantasy Football League. Now under settings, you can make some edits to your league. You can see that for every section there is an edit button, and you can make some changes yourself. But what if you want to actually skip the whole process of managing your league if you're a beginner and you actually want to join a league? Well, you just need to go over to the beginning, click on ESPN once again, then go ahead and click on Fantasy, and then we're going to scroll down, and this time we want to say we're going to join a league. We're going to click on Join Public League, and you're going to see this familiar page once again. Click Join a Public League. You're going to state your experience level. If you're a pro or beginner, we're going to choose beginner. The scoring type, we could leave it as is, and a draft type as snake. You could choose if you'd like to draft now, and then click Join a League. And here you can see that we have about 4 minutes left before we actually start the draft. The Draft 10 is basically a pool of all the players available with all the teams that are competing, and they will be making their pick of the best players to make up their team in order to have the best chance at winning the league. So now our draft is loading up and we're ready to choose. As you can see, we're currently in pick 3 and we'll wait for our turn. So right here it says on the clock, it's really your turn, and you could choose among the players right here. You have your limited time and it's counting down, so you'll need to make your pick before the time is up. We're going to say draft, and currently we're on queue. And this is how everything is going to be moving, and you're going to be waiting for your turn. We're going to go ahead and say auto pick to make things easier, and it says here you're on auto pick. You can disable this later, but what the auto pick helps you to do is to automatically pick the players that are best suited for your team. Of course, the best options available without having the hassle of choosing or looking through the names and their stats. Now, let's say you're done with your draft and you're currently in a team. In this case, you can see in this account, we have other teams that we've joined. Under fantasy section, you can see Tam's talented team, Trent's talented team, Ryan's top team, etc. We're going to click on Ryan's top team because we want to assume at this point that you've made your draft and you're currently in a league. Now, how do you manage your league in order to have the best chance of success? Now, on your computer while you're under your team, this is your team dashboard. It's going to present you with all the information needed as a team manager in order to manage your team. You can see the name of your team, the last matchup, the current matchup, and the full schedule of matchups to be taking place in the future. Then when we scroll down, you can see the current starters. These are the players that will be starting every game, and we're currently in NFL Week 11. You can see their positions, their stats, and you can move them up and around your team roster. If you click on move, you could decide to move this player right here. The move option helps you to move the player from one position to another. So we clicked on move and we could say here, and currently this player is in the flex slot. If we scroll down, you can see the players in the bench. If we click on Cairo Santos, click on move, we could decide to move him to the bench. If we move him to the bench, you can see that our starter list is currently empty with 2 slots. So we can come over to Lad McConkey, click on move and decide to move him here. Then of course we could go to Santos once again, click on move and place him right here, and we'll need an RB player to place right here in this empty slot. So we're going to look through and try to identify the players that have RB. We can see Stevenson right here, he's an RB, but the button is not available because he is currently not available. So we're going to come over to Jalen Warren and we're going to click on move, and this is because he is eligible for the RB slot, so we can come and move him over here. In order to do that, we're going to click on move, and when we scroll over, you can see that the here button is there. So we're going to click here, and now our team is complete. So this is how you get to manage your team, move them up and around, and ready for the next game. You can see your overview, your stats, your schedule, your news, projections, ranks, and recommendations. Now this is week 11, and if we click on week 12, you can see that this is upcoming and not all the stats are available compared to the week 11. So once your team has been set, your starters have been set, and your bench is ready, once the time for the game to happen comes, the Football Manager League will handle the rest, and at the end of the playing week, you will see the result and see how your team is playing. If you'd like to trade players, this is where you can actually click on the actionable buttons for trading players if you want to manage IR, add players, or actually drop players. And of course, you'd want to know where your team is standing on the league, right? So you're going to come over to the top, click on standings, and right here you can see Ryan's top team is currently 3rd, which is not a bad position, but we have a lot more to do in order to get to the top. So this is where you'll know that you might need to make some changes and some improvements in order to get your team right to the top. So these are the steps to follow if you'd like to play ESPN Fantasy Football on your computer and manage your team successfully. Do let us know if this was helpful, and thanks for watching.